What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another strategy video. This one is the second video, I believe, in my series I'm doing. I'm just going to be covering your strategy for early rounds, middle rounds, and late rounds in the fantasy football draft. And this doesn't matter PPR, standard, doesn't matter what your scoring is. This is just an overall strategy. So I'll be saying a few people you should target versus not target, but the more general idea of this video is the strategy behind these picks. So I already talked about in the early rounds in that first video that you need to kill it. You need to get studs, guys that have already produced, not super risky, not super high upside, but super low floor, not really injury prone. You've got to kill it with their first couple rounds. But in the later rounds, these are your lottery picks. This is when you take your shots. This is a guy that you're drafting. When I talk about late picks, I'm talking basically rounds 9 through the end. Doesn't matter how many drafts, how many rounds you have. Basically, like 9 through, I believe, 14 is in a 12-team league. So 9 through 14. So you got to think this is like your running back 5, maybe your wide receiver 5. So they don't have to start, and most likely they're not going to start for you week 1. These guys you put on your bench that maybe through injury, through passing people in the depth chart, they become the number 1 on their team. So I've been looking at the ADPs right now, and I don't know when I'm going to release this video, so it could change, but I'm just going to assume it's not going to change drastically. So guys like Terrence Williams, Tyler Boyd, Pierre Garçon, Kendall Wright, Futchness, they're going late, okay? Their upside is capped. Okay, so these guys have zero chance of getting top 5, top 10 wide receiver numbers. But then you look, about 30 spots behind that is Kamar Aiken, is Chris Hogan. Let's see another guy going late. Jeff Janis is another guy. Torrey Smith. So these are guys that actually have upside. And that's just for the wide receivers. Generally speaking, I go with RB0. So I'm not taking shots on wide receivers. I'm more taking shots on my running backs. But you want guys that have upside. Stephon Diggs is another guy I use a lot. Minnesota offense. Minnesota isn't going to be top 10 in passing. So with your late picks, you shouldn't be taking Treadwell and Diggs because they just don't have a chance at being number 1 wide receivers. You would rather, early in your draft, take wide receivers and some running backs that you know can produce for your team. Then you don't take Diggs in the later rounds. You take guys that could absolutely explode. Charles Sims, Robert Turbin. These are guys that if the person in front of them gets hurt, they're instantly top 10 potential. I mean, Sims, if Doug Martin gets hurt, or even if, like I think is actually going to happen, if Sims passes him on the depth chart during the season, he's an instant RB1. But that can't happen with wide receivers really later in the draft. That's why I prefer taking my shots on running backs. But there are guys that you're drafting around the range you draft Sims, in at least a standard league, that just don't even have a chance of being number 1s, but Sims does. So these are all lottery picks. This is the entire point of this video. Rounds 9 through 14. 13 and 14, you take defense kicker. So really 9, 10, 11, 12. You take absolute shots, okay? I mean, the guy that took a shot on Odell, is he complaining? And really, if you take a shot on anyone and they don't pan out, all those picks don't pan out, it doesn't matter. Because instead of having a guy that's putting up 40 to 50 receiving yards a game, 4 to 5 points, you'll never play them. And they have no upside. You'd rather have a guy that, you know what, he just never plays, then you drop him and pick up whoever's hot on waivers. But you can't, you're not as inclined to do that with someone who's putting up points. I mean, look, he's getting you 4 or 5 points, but that's not going to win you anything. You can't plug that guy in for your RB2 or your wide receiver 2 and win. You need to take as many lottery ticket shots as you can because the more you take, the higher the chance is that one of them is going to hit. Okay, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you watched this far, you at least somewhat liked it. Drop a like. Really appreciate it. You guys have been killing the like button lately. Killing the views. I really, really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new. I put out about 2 to 3 videos per week. And that's usually one video is always my live mock draft Monday. And another video would either be rankings or a strategy video, some sort of tip. But that is the end. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.